friends, as most of you know by now, there was a rampage killing at Michigan State University in Michigan, more specifically East Lansing, Michigan. A gunman killed 3 people and critically injured 5 students at Michigan State University on Monday night before fatally shooting himself. Police identified the gunman as 43-year-old Anthony Wayne McRae and said all the victims were students of Michigan State University. The names of the victims will be released later on. It was actually a caller's tip that led law enforcement to the suspect, who had actually killed himself. Things we know, according to the Washington Post, is that shootings were reported at 2 locations on the East Lansing campus. 5 people are in critical condition still. A couple of them have been operated on. The gunman was not affiliated with the university, supposedly in any way. And while shelter-in-place orders have been lifted, the campus is closed for 48 hours. You'll notice that there is a lot of, let's say, crisis intervention going on right now. A lot of offerings of car rides to leave the university. One person said, if anyone needs a safe place to decompress away from campus, please reach out. Others offered the safety of guest rooms, the comfort of their pets. A priest said he was available to provide prayers. A clinical social worker offered trauma therapy to those suffering mentally. I notice no one is offering for a resolution and allowing students to be able to protect themselves. We're offering our dogs where people can pet them to feel better about themselves. We're offering hugs and kind words and all these other things. Yet we're not offering any solutions on how to prevent this from happening. Yes, the wackos on the left will immediately jump to, let's ban all guns. It's never going to happen and should never happen, because all that does is make us less safe. What we're not doing is looking at ways that all these senseless rampage killings like this can be thwarted much quicker. That means allowing some resistance. A gun is a great equalizer. When you remove that gun from innocent people, not allowing them to protect themselves, you have made the criminal the strongest force in whatever room or environment that they exist in. When you apply firearms to well-trained, responsible individuals, that's the great equalizer. That person suddenly loses that power they have over everyone else. Yet, state and federal government doesn't seem to understand that and would prefer their people to be sitting ducks in these stupid, senseless gun-free zones. More to that point is this headline that Michigan students were told to run, hide, fight. So we have somebody offensively setting out to shoot other people indiscriminately that he doesn't know, has no affiliation whatsoever with. He's going and attacking these people. And our best advice is to first run so you can be shot in the back, then hide so that you can be hunted down, and then fight with no gun. Let me whack him in the head with a red stapler. Let me grab some chalk and jab it into his eyes while he has a gun. So my great equalizer is going to be a stapler, a chair, while this guy's lobbing bullets at me. Students hitting closets waiting for police to arrive. Grown men, adults, are hiding in closets because we have determined that these places are safer without the protection of firearms by honest, law-abiding, responsible gun owners at this campus and in this state. Now, this story is more than likely going to disappear very quick. 2 things that you will notice. One, I can't really say, but you can obviously pick up on it in this picture, because I don't want YouTube to take this video down or to give me another strike like they have done in the past whenever I have spoken out on senseless shootings like this. But you get what I'm trying to say. One of the very obvious things in this picture is why this story will disappear very quickly. The other reason is because it appears that he used a handgun. That doesn't really fit with their narrative unless you look at Joe Biden's call to ban all semi-automatic guns. Then that certainly fits into his plan. Now, you'll also notice that they are going to still allow this to, even though they want it to disappear for obvious reasons, they're going to roll it up into all of their existing numbers for, quote, mass shootings, because it certainly pads their numbers. Of course, they would like for this guy to have had a red hat on, if you know what I mean, but he doesn't. So this is one of those situations that doesn't feed their entire agenda, but it certainly does as far as being able to check a box and say that we had another shooting. And oh, by the way, you know what category, what column this is going to be put in? A school shooting. So whenever they're tugging at your heartstrings and trying to get you to want to ban guns, they're going to remind you that we had a school shooting in Michigan. Now, the implication that they're going to have is they're going to paint this picture in your mind that it was 5-year-old kids that got killed here, because they're going to, again, refer to this as a school shooting because simply technically this is a school. But they know that they're being deceptive in that reporting because they're trying to get you to feel for the sympathy of a helpless 5-year-old huddling in a closet to give you that visual, when in fact it was grown people hiding because they weren't allowed to defend themselves.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America. He's so horrible.